connect for some reason. So Should the Breeze topic number 3. Thank you for all the ones, guys. Thank you for that. Should the Breeze topic number 3 says, start small, literally. The first Black-owned micro community. This came with a link that takes us to YouTube. It seems to be the only thing working for me right now. We'll watch this short video and then we'll discuss it.
And Fulton County will now get tax revenue from this community that didn't exist before.
Plus, developer Booker Washington says micro communities are also keeping more money in the residents' pockets.
I'm saving about maybe $2,000. I'll be passing this down to my son.
Welcome back to Official Black Wall Street, the largest app and digital platform connecting you to the best in Black-owned products and services. Head to obws.com to download our app and discover thousands of Black-owned businesses you can shop and review today.
Has an update on how the neighborhood is coming along and is giving us an inside look.
The developer says people have already moved into 20 of the 29 homes in South Park Cottages, and the ball is already rolling on the next location, Union City. Crews are putting the finishing touches on the final 9 tiny homes. 16 months after construction began, all 29 have been sold.
The money they spend is directly impacting this community. College Park will now get, and Fulton County will now get tax revenue from this community that didn't exist before.
Plus, developer Booker Washington says micro communities are also keeping more money in the residents' pockets.
I'm saving about maybe $2,000. I'll be passing this down to my son.
Equity. With rent continuously on the rise across Metro Atlanta, Janice Williams chose to buy for the same sized space.
I was considering getting an apartment because I'm downsizing from a 5-bedroom house on the south side, and it was just too much. My son moved out. He has a new baby, a new family he's building, and my mother is elderly. She couldn't go up and down the 16 flights of steps to her bedroom. It just makes more sense.
Williams has been in the neighborhood for 3 weeks. Washington says there are several other residents like her, singles, single parents, couples, and retirees.
The residents of South Park are diverse. They range from 40,000 upwards to millionaires that live here.
The average rent in Metro Atlanta is about $2,000 a month. Washington says the average mortgage here is $1,500, and he has his eyes set on the next project, Union Park.
Expanding in all urban metro area markets is important because every metro area market is affected by high real estate prices and squeezing out those in the lower incomes. So we are eyeing and targeting the center of Atlanta. We have a long waiting list and interest list of well over 3,000 of people that desire a micro home project.
In College Park, Teresa Bowles, 11 Alive News.
And for more videos centering Black business news and Black excellence, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to share this video. Head to obws.com to download our official Black Wall Street app, the largest app and digital platform helping you discover thousands of Black-owned businesses you can support today. Thanks for watching.
All right. I just want to make sure that the ad played through so you guys could support the app as well, obws.com. While my panelists are speaking, I'll try to pull 2 more Shoot the Breeze topics that'll take us to YouTube, I guess. In the meantime, though, I'd like to hear you guys' thought on this. I actually asked a question in the chat. I see Real Black Gentleman says, yay, development. I don't know if that's sarcasm or not. But, I tend to like to watch these tiny home videos to see how people are able to kind of get off grid on a small piece of land with sometimes it's these prefab homes that they erect and they add little pieces. Okay, Real Black Gentleman says, no, it's legit. So he's legit saying, yeah, development. Cool for that. Kudos for that. And I sometimes I'm in awe of what folks can get out of these little homes in a nice little piece of property, off the grid for the most part. And recently I was watching some of these videos and I saw a family, they had a little plot of land. They ended up putting like 4 houses up, 4 of these little homes up on the land. They share everything. it's really a good step, I think. If you're talking about building communities, start small. You know what I mean? But let me mix it up this time. Let me hear from Oni. Oni, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, yeah, this looks good. I mean, anything to make anything that helps black folk to save money is a good thing. I could appreciate the fact that this is brought to our attention. I know that there was this brother who did this kind of stuff in like Ghana or something, right? But I think this is also just a reminder for us as a people that there's a lot of opportunity that we either like that sometimes we're not even taking, right? There's a lot of opportunity. Now, obviously, that opportunity has cost, you know, and that cost is oftentimes going to be economical, but it's also going to be professionalism, you know. Like I said, I ran into some problems here in Tanzania where there's a lack of professionalism in a lot of things, you know. Um, so I'm like for instance my internet problems and all that kind of stuff. But that's the whole thing about this world. It's like you can um provide a good or a service you can for your people, and in so doing you can become economically well off, you know. A lot of people will tell you, oh no, there's no way, you can't do it, you know, but the reality is that you can. um will it be difficult? Absolutely, right? But all the same, I think we have to, we should see these kind of stories as an inspiration for us to for us to uh, do more as a people. That's all I'll say. Wait,
I appreciate that. My computer, yeah. I appreciate it. My computer is messing up right now. Real Black Gentleman in the chat says sincere, positive valuation. That's how you quadruple up your money. Jose says we do think, we do talk. Okay. With that said, let me hear from Buana next on this one. Buana, what's it?
Yes, sir. So currently, my brother-in-law actually does build prefab homes for the government, and I see the fact that it does help a lot of people. I do see that. If I was to build a home in Africa, I like container homes. For some reason, I think that container homes are very economical, and I have an interest in container homes. If I was really a builder, I would really invest or do something in container homes, because I think for me, I just like the idea of it. I think that these kind of homes, though, or prefab homes, you need to build covenants where you restrict people's behavior severely, because you want to be able to maintain these areas in the condition that they were in when they were initially created. And I'm not saying to besmirch any community, any particular people. I'm just saying that you need to create covenants where certain things are restricted from happening. And if you do these things, we're gonna kick you out of these communities. So we're gonna give you the ability to live on these spaces, to pay a little bit of money to live in these spaces, but we're gonna restrict your behavior, because we don't want it to go south quickly. If you get what I'm saying. So that's the only thing that comes to mind when I think about these prefab homes or low cost homes, or even container style homes. Just to restrict the behavior of the people who are actually renting these spaces, whoever they are. I think that sometimes when people hear low cost and free, it attracts certain kinds of people. But we want to be able not only to house people, we want to maintain the areas so it'll be attractive for more people to come, and invest and do other kinds of things. So that's really the only thing I would say in reference to this particular thing.
I appreciate that, Bwana. Yeah, this actually reminded me of there was a time. I mean, it still happens, but like back home, there was a time when we used to call it Rasta Camp, where people who share belief come together in a community setting. And when I look at this, I think about Pan-Africans, to be honest. I think about how we can, come together in communities with this common goal in mind. I remember the matron used to talk about this. Shout out to the matron. I think she's in the chat still. The matron used to talk about here in America, you could incorporate a community. So I think about that. I think about how Black folks talk about getting organized. Let's get organized in how we live. How we live.
Cool. The thing is, I don't mind Pan-Africans coming together and living collectively in a community. I have no problem with that. But as Pan-Africans have children who may not necessarily be Pan-African minded, or even the Pan-Africans themselves. If I want you to cut your yard every 2 weeks, that yard must be cut every 2 weeks. If I don't want you as a Pan-African to throw garbage in a certain space, don't throw garbage in a certain space. If I don't want you to play blasting reggae, even if it's cultural reggae music after certain hours within my Pan-African compound, these are the little small things that have to be worked out, regardless of the fact that ideologically we must be our Pan-Africans. How we live have to be restricted in a certain way and regimented too. You know what I mean? So I just really wanted to put that little thing out there for you.
No, I appreciate it, but that's a part of it. A part of it is there's rules here. We ain't gonna be like the Rasta daughter from the previous prompt. There's rules here. So I think that was the point of the incorporating your communities. You set up and establish what values your community has, and everyone who comes into that community must commit to it. And you must have a way to hold people accountable. But again, if it's cost effective, if it brings us to a unity, especially under a common type of goal, I really appreciate what the brother on the screen right now. I appreciate what he's doing, and he has a plan to build another one, another little community. I forget what part of Atlanta it was, but yeah, I think about those things, and like you too, Bwana. I'll be honest with you. I look at those videos with the container homes. I look at those a lot too because it's intriguing. It's intriguing what you can do. One man's garbage is another man's treasure, as they say. It's intriguing what you could do with those containers. But yeah, this is the kind of thing I think about when I see videos like this. I just want to share this with you guys as well and see what your thoughts are. Jose said, again, gloves off. Let's be honest, people need to behave as if tomorrow is worth something to them. I agree with that. Real Black Gentleman in the chat says a couple hood ground checks and interviews and dinners might be enough in a small neighborhood. That's what I'm talking about, Real Black Gentleman. That's exactly you have to vet the people who you're going to build with. Trigger Happy 262 says how we live all depends on culture, though. So that being a value all depends on rules that are valuable for the community. Absolutely well said by the three of you gentlemen out there. I appreciate that. Let's move down the line again. Anthony McPhail, what say you to what you see here?
Yeah, it's a great thing, man. And I agree with what you were saying. Like-minded people gonna get with like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? We on the same page. We ain't gonna have to worry about, our children, with their foolishness, because we're gonna raise them right. We're gonna raise them to respect, respect our neighbors, respect our brothers and sisters, respect the other people. You know what I'm saying? But that whole thing, I was checking this brother out. It was going back from 2019, 2020, 2019. It's a brother in Ghana who's doing it. It's a brother. He was building. He had he had a plan for doing this for an entire community. You know, with those homes. There's a brother in Ghana. I caught him on I'm trying to I think it was his brother Ekal Simpson show. Ekal Simpson, he's a brother from Ghana. You know, and he's like Walter Meyer, like bringing the diaspora and and continental Africa together. But it's a brother who's there in Ghana, a younger brother, and it's an older brother too. They was like working together, and they were building those tiny homes, and like building communities there in Ghana. I think it may have been like in the northern region or something like that. But I got some of them in my archives. But yeah, they was doing that. But he had a business. He had like contracts. And he was doing that, building those homes. But yeah, that's a great thing, man. And I've been watching it for a minute, man. It was a couple of shows I used to look at, even with some of these shows, them European shows. What it was while I first seen it, the tiny home thing, when he's bringing this the whole concept of the tiny home, and how efficient it was and everything, and how how it cooperate with with nature and all the surrounding areas and stuff. Yeah, it's a good thing, man. It's a great thing, man. And I think it's something that we need to look into. I got a friend who built one. Not far from me, man. They have one of those tiny homes, man. And he always talking about his bills and everything. Not as much. But yeah, I think it's a great thing, man. It's a great thing, man. But yeah, I'm not off there for time constraints.
Anthony, is the guy's name Brandon Rogers?
That might be. It sounds like it might be him. I ain't 100% sure. It sounds like him.
Okay. Jose said Brandon Rogers, question mark, and he said migrating culture. Thanks for that, Anthony. I got to be honest with you, my computer is really acting up for some reason today. It's been a while since I've had this much trouble with it. Trigger Happy, are you familiar with the Ghanaian brother that Anthony is talking about? He says, no, first time hearing this. This is the first time Trigger heard. That tells you how much Anthony knows, man. He knows stuff that folks from a place don't know sometimes, That's very cool. Last but not least, Black Steel, you've heard everything everyone else had to say. What say you to it? I guess Black Steel's not there.
I'm here. Sorry.
Black?
I'm here. I was cooking, man. I'm sorry. I had my food and stuff. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm back. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think
what you cooking? Okay.
I think this is great. Housing costs are astronomical across the board in the U.S. right now. It's hard for people to even really fathom how much housing costs. So anything that privileges, that helps Black people, afford a decent place to live at an affordable cost, I'm all for that. Buana, on Saturday morning when I wash my car, I listen to Buju Banton. So you're just gonna have to deal. I'm sorry. But
hey, Black Steel, what you cooking, Black Steel? What you cooking?
I made some chili, man. I made chili and rice.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I might not have much left over once my kid gets through with it, but I had to grab a plate. Otherwise, I won't have anything to eat because kids. Anyways, but yeah, otherwise, I think this is a really good thing. I think that housing costs are so unaffordable now that people really have to look at just being able to make ends meet. He said the average cost for rent in Atlanta was $2,000 a month. That's insane. $2,000 a month, and he was able to knock $500 off of that. That's an excellent, excellent thing to do to help out your community. And I do think you want to have a peaceful neighborhood. You want to have a place where everybody can feel safe and at home. And I'm assuming also too with the micro home, the cost of everything is going to be significantly lower. I can't imagine your light bill is going to be as much as it would be if you're in a 4-bedroom house or your water bill. I think, it's really something that would benefit everybody in that community. So I'll go ahead and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Black Seal. I want to add too. Some years ago on Shoot the Breeze, we talked about like aquaponics and hydroponics. So add that to the mix. Add farming, to the mix. Add solar energy to the mix. You could really build a nice little community, not just in America, but wherever, the continent, as others have mentioned, the Caribbean especially. Like it's something to keep in mind. So I thought this would be a topic that's good to keep in the back of our minds. I think Anthony wants to say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I seen finally Dr. Obadiah Cambone, he just finished his house. Now his house is not a tiny house. It's tall. It's a tall conical building, but it fit. He has like the solar panels. It's so conducive to nature. I mean, you have to look at it. Go to his site or BB to me, and you'll see it. And he'll break it down and explain why this works here and this works here. And I was thinking about what you just said and saying, he also is involved in agriculture around the house too, like plants and gardens and stuff like that. He has all of that, man. It's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful home. And you need to see it, man. You can see it, and he breaks it down. He got a whole a video about it and tell you like the functions of everything, man. And so I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm gonna go look that up because that was the next step of what I was kind of pointing at is, we could do this in such a way where it's very ecological. It's in tune with nature, how we use water, how we use agriculture, things of that nature. So it's something to keep in mind for the folks out there. Maybe one day we could talk about it a little bit further. Is there any final thoughts on this prompt? All right. What we'll do is we'll go to Shooter Breeze topic number 4.